So this is a pretty similar question, so try that. So our f of x is going to be equal to sine of x, and our f prime of x is going to be equal to cosine of x, and our f of a is really going to be f of 30 degrees, and our f of b is really, sorry, not f of b, f prime of a. I graded too many of those intermediate value theorem things recently. It's going to be f prime of 30 degrees. So we're going to have to figure out what sine of 30 degrees is, and we're going to have to figure out what cosine of 30 degrees is. So we know this is just going to be some sort of 1/2 rad 3/2 pair. This time for a variety, or somewhat variety, I'm going to start with the unit circle and turn it into a right triangle approach. So let's draw our unit circle like this. I'll draw it a little bit bigger this time. That didn't work. Let me try again. Come on, notability, magic circle. There you go. We need to move it over slightly. Move it over slightly. Here we go. So, so 30 degrees is going to be this angle right here. And you guys should know that 30 degrees is the same thing as pi over 6. Right? So if I enlarge this thing, this guy over here, this is pi over 6. If you dropped a right triangle down here, this is the famous 1 to 2 to rad 3 triangle. But we need to make it a unit circle, so we're going to divide everything by 2. So this becomes 2/2, which is 1, 1/2, and this is rad 3/2. So I hope we all can see that this means that our x value is going to be rad 3/2, and our y value is going to be 1/2. Okay. And because sine is the x value, sine is the y value, that's going to be 1/2. And cosine is the x value, that's going to be rad 3/2. Is there any questions about this so far? I guess I'm trying to say that the right triangle approach and the unit circle approach are interrelated. Right triangle is very useful for the quadrant 1, and then we just use reflections to get the rest of the angles.
I have a question.
Yes.
How do you know when it's 1/2 or the 3/2, the square root of 3/2? Like, how do you know which one to choose?
There's a couple answers to that. The first answer is the shortest side always has the 1. The longest side has the 2. And then the middle side has the rad 3. That's before you divide. So that's one of my answers. Once I know this is the shorter side, I know that's the 1. But another thing that I do is I'll draw the angle, and then I'll look at the x coordinate and the y coordinate. And when I look at this x coordinate, that looks like it's about halfway through. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. When I look at this y coordinate and I project it onto the y-axis, that looks like it's about halfway. So I know that the y coordinate's 1/2. When I project this down, this is way more than halfway. That's how I know that's the rad 3/2. So I kind of think of it in 2 different ways, one with a right triangle and one with just drawing the angle and guesstimating the x and y value. Does that help?
I was asking about the thing for like the f of a. Like, how do you know which one to choose to pick there? Like the 1/2 or the, like, how do you know?
This right here?
Yeah.
Do you know the sine of 30 degrees?
No.
So sine, when you write the unit circle, it's cosine theta sine theta. So the y coordinate's always sine and the cosine is always x. So once I've picked out this point, I mean, this angle, and I figure out what the point is, the sine is just going to be the y coordinate and the cosine is going to be the x coordinate.
Okay, that helps a lot. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, no problem. I've been asking my students recently about their high school experience because your generation is the one that got forced onto Zoom. And I feel like some of you, your background's okay. But some of us, we have like these massive like holes in our background. And I'm almost like, did your teacher, I mean, it was so hard teaching over COVID. They just probably skipped a bunch of sections or something. We didn't get a chance to learn it well. Anyways, I can't linger on this problem for too long because we've got a lot to do. So let's finish this off. So we know that the linearization is going to be f of a plus f prime of a times x minus a. That's just the equation of the tangent line when we solve for y. And I know that this f of a is going to be 1/2. And this f prime of a is going to be rad 3/2. And I have x minus, I don't like to use degrees, so I'm going to use the radians, pi/6. Always use radians. That's the that's the linearization. They want me to find the approximation for 31 degrees. So that's going to be 1/2 plus rad 3/2. That's really, we're going to think about it as 31 degrees minus 30 degrees, which is really equal to 1 degree. So as I had said earlier, 1 degree is pi/180 radians. Whoops. You don't know how often that happens to me. Just randomly. I think it's because I'm lefty. The universe doesn't like lefties. So this is going to give you 1/2 plus rad 3/2 times pi/180 radians. And you can leave your answer like that. Is there any questions about that? Now, if you had a calculator, you could get a decimal answer if you wanted. But this is the work that I'm looking for. Okay.